Hello guys, a short unplanned video about something that I'm seeing lately that is done among commercially available keyboards, and that is analog switches. It's something, it's a great innovation, I'd say. Uh, and well, today I got a link sent for the Gigabyte Aorus K9 Optical, and well, I have my questions a bit because there was also forgot which brand that was. There was another brand. I'm not sure if that was Steel Series or something. But they also at least in short, they also use the optical switch. And what bothered me about it is that you have this optical technology in your keyboard, and it has a lot of potential because there's actually another brand who, or well, it's the brand that started actually with it, I think. Well, actually, analog switches are pretty old, but this brand actually used optical switches to have analog input. So you could actually use the actuation in its fullest. It's not like a switch that goes off or on, well demonstrated on their website, but it's actually something that can gradually change. So yeah, like the throttle on a car or the controls on a plane. That's a really cool technology. So you should really check them out. They have the Wooting 2 now, which is with the numpad, and the Wooting 1 is without the numpad, so a 10 keyless or 80% keyboard. But then today I got sent the link for the Gigabyte Aorus K9 Optical. And what do they market for with the optical switch? Well, durability, which is not a lie, I guess, because there's less parts that go wrong. But I also do wonder if it's actually more durable, because the thing is with how these switches work, because this is the same switch, I believe, as is in the Wooting, and it uses a prisma lens. Sorry for how horribly I pronounce that. But it uses a prisma lens to actually reflect the light beam, and then it measures how long it takes for that light beam to come back. And with that, the internal electronics can detect how far the key is pressed. And well, if that gets dirty, or if if for example the keyboard actually deforms because of maybe gamer violence or just weather warping of any kind, shouldn't happen, but it can. If it does, it can actually make this technology have problems, I believe. So yeah, and but here they actually also market with that it is 600 times faster. Woo! And 0.03 milliseconds of response time versus 20 milliseconds. I'm not sure if that's the case with traditional mechanical switches, but I'll take the word for it for now. Yeah, and here you see 2 times as higher durability, splash proofness. But yeah, what I can't find on this page actually is, do they actually support analog input? So gradual, like on a joystick input? Because I don't see anything for it. And actually, if we go to the specifications, there we go. It just says activation distance 2 millimeter, 2 millimeter. I can talk today. 2 millimeter, and yeah, it's set in stone, and it's exactly the same. And it's actually funny because here they claim it's faster because, well, it's light and it has no delay, and it's no debounce and all that. But they don't boast with a shorter travel distance or activation distance like many other manufacturers did with their speed switches, which would be like well, somewhere in the ballpark of 3.2 millimeter, I think, and then 1.2 millimeter actuation distance. So yeah, the idea was that because the distance is shorter, it's faster. In the end, well, I think it doesn't really matter, but this seems more sound, I guess, because sure, it can be faster, but it's just there's another potential here that I talked about a bit ago. Like you have an analog switch, why not use it? I mean, sure, it's not easy to implement because some games like Skyrim actually don't let you use a keyboard and uh, controller at the same time. So if you have a keyboard that simulates both controller and a normal keyboard, it will not work. But yeah, that's just the technical limits of it. But still, you have this and then you don't use it, and that just bothers me. But also, let me actually show you a funny thing. I mean, I think at least I thought it was funny because a bit further up they actually, yeah, spring me to heaven for maximum consistency and optimum typing feel. Aorus exclusively utilizes top quality steel springs in the switches. And yeah, I'm not supposed. I don't know what this graph is supposed to be because you have force and then traditional switch and then over the key travel distance, and then you have the Aorus K9 optical. I'm not sure if they were actually going for uh, that the curve is flat because it's curved for the traditional switch, or that it's simply lighter. And well, if you look here again, if it said what the both red and blue are 10 grams, but with a variation of 10 grams. So yeah, I don't know what that is supposed to mean. Like it's lighter. I mean, there are switches with lighter springs. I mean, you want lighter, you grab a red, or you want even lighter than that, you grab a Gateron Clear, not the one from KBD fans because those actually come with 67 gram springs. But if you have the normal Gateron Clear switches, they are 35 grams. So I'm not so I don't know what's this supposed to be, but anyway. Uh, so yeah, for, the rest is just basic marketing, nothing that I'm really like, oh my god. But yeah, the only thing that I was a bit surprised at is this part and the fact that it doesn't use analog switches to their full potential because well there's so many interesting things that you can do with it, and all these markets, I mean all these brands are making their own optical keyboard. Um, I'm not sure if it's really supposed to compete with routing, but they will because from what I understood, this one is in the ballpark of 140 euros. Well, and the routing 1 or 2 is also around that price. So they will compete with each other, but then the Aorus doesn't use analog to its full potential, and the routing does. I mean, even by the way, no, I forgot to mention that even if you don't use analog in a game, with the routing you can change the activation distance. So if you want it all the way on top of the switch, like I believe the minimum they can allow is 0.6 or something from the top of my head, then you can do that. If you want to almost completely bottom out the switch, you can also do that. And here they just have it set in stone. So, well, if Gigabyte is smart, they will later perhaps patch it so you can actually change that so it does compete. Well, honestly, I do. I'm actually hoping nothing will really beat routing because I think what Wooting does is great. I think they also have pretty kick-ass software from what I've seen that isn't like taking up a gigabyte of space and with all useless gamery looks, and they actually kept it pretty clean. I don't know what the Aura software is like. Yeah, I don't know. Most think they have to slap it full with gamery images and all that crap and make it unnecessarily big. Yeah. And then yeah, there's also something that I wonder, because if I read it this quickly, oh yeah, there's actually in a sec. Yeah, so it sounds like the keycaps are ABS, and then the keycaps that you use for gaming, those are PBT, so higher quality and such, which is nice, but why not make them all PBT then? Anyway, it would of course bump up the price, I imagine, but there's something about this line that bothers me. PBT has better hardness, sure, durability, yes, and smoother texture. Uh, I'm not sure about that. I mean, wasn't PBT like rougher generally? In fact, if you want really smooth, like polished keycaps, then you go for ABS. I mean, there's a company, Signature Plastics, who makes really retro-like keycaps in SA form, as it is called, and they're really smooth. And they have actually had PBT versions of it in the past, and well, those were fairly smooth, but not as smooth as the ABS ones. Yeah, that statement is also something that I'm like, do your research because someone will see. Like, I don't think many or normal customers who just are in the market for a gaming keyboard will know this, but I think if they're a little bit clever, they will realize that this one, yeah, this is the worst offender actually here. So yeah, I think I'm going to wrap it up here, and yeah, just a little bit of a ranty video. I'll say this is actually nice. Little icons. That's actually cool. So yeah, that was just a short video to get this off my chest, because it's just a nice keyboard. I mean, there's some branding, but it looks pretty good. But yeah, then you have analog and you don't use it to your full potential. So Gigabyte, if for some if for some reason you see this video, I don't expect it, but you never know. Use the full potential, because well, the routing will make this keyboard bite the dust, because it has so many more features, and maybe it's not meant to compete with it, but it might. I mean, sure, Gigabyte is a bigger brand and all that, but the routing one, as I see it, is just way more interesting. There's all these features, analog. Let's see, you can even assign two keys to one key based on how far you press it, so that's also a thing. Yeah, here, adjustable actuation. Oh, it's actually 1.5 up to 3.6, but you know, it's adjustable. But yeah, that's one of those things. Oh, yeah, and they have actually also a black version versus only red and blue versions. So yeah, here's the software. See, no big images, just simple, clean layout, which also comes in dark theme, I believe. So yeah, that's just one of the things that I noticed, and it's really a shame that they don't use it. So yeah, that's now I'm really going to wrap it up. Well, actually, if you feel like If there's something that I said that is incorrect, feel free to correct me in the comments, and well, also feel free to share your thoughts. I would like to know what you think from your perspective on it. Let me know, and also let me know through liking if you liked the video, or if there's something that you didn't like about it. I mean, this bit unplanned video, you can also dislike it, of course. Yeah, everyone's free to do so. But yeah, I would like to ask, if you dislike this for some reason, let me know what it is so I can maybe keep it in mind for future videos. So yeah, thank you. Later.